Alright, good morning everyone. Sorry, just one second, I'm getting a phone call. Aristotle, how can I help you?
Hello?
Yes, hello, how can I help you today?
My delivery is late. This is pathetic.
I'm sorry, what was wrong with the order?
It is an hour late. Okay? Where is my food? It's been an hour and 15 minutes.
What was the address?
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.?
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am. It just said the delivery just left a couple minutes ago. It should be on its way.
It just left. I placed my order an hour and 15 minutes ago, and it's not here.
I understand your frustration, yes, but we only have one driver and we're as long as it is.
Okay, you know, whatever, it's fine. I'm just a little disappointed in how this place is run, and you will not be receiving my business ever here again.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Have a nice day. Yikes. What you just witnessed was a beautiful conversation I've had with a customer at Aristotle a little while ago about comments about the delivery status between myself, obviously, star employee of Aristotle, and I'm sure as you watched it, you know I have some questions. What was the person so mad for? Well, whose fault is it? Is it mine? Is it the customer's? You really want some Aristotle right now. Is it necessary for the customer to complain that much? These are all questions that people ask me every single day. I get questions like these all the time. It could be as big as that, or it could just be a little like the slice of pizza is too much money, something I can't even control. And I'm sure I myself am guilty of complaining. We do it all the time. Who here has complained today in the audience? You in the blue shirt. What do you complain about today?
The weather. It's too hot.
It's too hot. All right. Why?
I don't like it being hot.
You don't like being hot. Who'd you complain to?
Mark.
Mark. I'm sorry.
Sean.
All right. Thank you, Sean. People like Sean, they always have something to say. You know, they just want to get something off their chest, like Sean did. Society today has complained a lot more, whether it be about the weather, like Sean, about the quality of food at Eversano's, about the school, anything really. The comments like these and the complaints are more as like gibberish and almost hurt the person more it's directed at, or in Sean's case, the weather. It's crying right now. More than it's really intended to fix it. And a sad part of it today is that a lot of complaints about the food service itself. And society and all these complaints rack up as they go on, and it has caused a little bit of more unhappy mood overall, and it kind of leads to a very bleak area to live in. I mean, you don't want to live in the house that complains every day about the food, about the air, the blankets, you know? It creates a very bad lifestyle. And as always, Arizona complaints are the key of it. Going on about the food service, something that the Harvard Business Review talked about was the employee customer profit chain. As you can see, everything is interconnected. It requires a strong bond between the relationship with the boss, the customer, and the employees. And one of the first things it talks about is the attitude about the company. If you know that we mess up on our orders all the time, if you know that we don't deal with your complaints and just ignore it, I mean, you wouldn't want to buy there anymore, right? Reputation is everything. That's the key here. You want to make sure that you're not just ignoring these people. You want to listen to them, even if it may be like that one customer I just talked to. It may be something really angry. You want to make sure that you're listening to them and everything. Stephen Parton is an author and philosopher, and he worked with the Walking Times, and he did like a little research on about complaining. And in his thing, he noticed that complaining physically rewires the chemistry in your brain to become more negative. It becomes easier for you to want to complain. As you can see in the quote, it says, it's easier and more likely that the proper will share the chemical link and thus spark together, making it easier for the thought to happen. You complain once to Abersonos, you're going to do it again, because they know that they're going to give you a free set of cannolis next time. It's just going to keep going on. And naturally, your brain obviously wants to share what you're thinking with others so they understand you. And in this case, it becomes a very negative thing to do every How many of you recognize these people? Some. Do you notice anything about them? No one likes them. Sure. Anakin Skywalker is pretty famous. Scrooge is up. Ebenezer Scrooge and Belle Swan. One thing about them is that they're all complaining. Let's talk about Scrooge for a second. I know if you're in Lualla's DCC class, you read Christmas Carol. And something about him is that he had no friends. He didn't have family to rely on, no one cared about him, and his only partner died a couple years ago. He was all alone completely. Because of that, he has become such a negative soul that it's physically impacted his soul. And it shames everyone around him. It had to take him almost dying for him to realize that these complaints were being harmful to everyone else. Another thing that Elizabeth Scott, another blogger for the Very Well Mind, she brings up the idea of the effect complaining has on you afterwards. In that moment, I'm sure if you screamed at an Arizona employee over the phone about a pizza order, you felt happy, They understand now, they're going to give me it's on its way. But overall, you realize, oh, that's probably some poor kid stuck behind the counter making minimum wage. Or, oh, I'm sure he's doing everything he can to get that order out there for the delivery guy. As she says, letting yourself cool off, refocus your attention, and express your anger are all more effective ways to get your point across, rather than just venting and screaming through the phone like a maniac almost. And of course, complaining does have its negatives, but there are also some positives to it. Dr. Kovaleski, she's a professor of psychology at Clemson University, and she takes a different stance on it that proves that complaining is more helpful in the long run. She brings up the fact that life isn't perfect, obviously. There's plenty of mistakes everywhere, and we need to fix those. And that we could always be happy. We should always be happy. And complaining helps us get that bigger picture that we need to find. Let's say that I want to complain about my pizza being late. Why is it late? If I didn't complain, they would continue to make it late over and over again if I never spoke my voice about it, So it is good to complain, yes, and I'm sure there's bad ways to complain as well. So here are some tips, as always, to help you complain more effectively and in a more effective manner. Number one, consider the company as a whole and take all sides into consideration. Don't just focus on what you experience. Think about everything. Think about who's doing it, who's affected by it, the situation itself, back at your home, how far away it is, if for delivery, anything like that. Number two, don't add in your emotions. I know that's really generic to say, and it's much harder than it seems, but go at it with a strict mind, separate from the incident, and just focus solely on getting this thing corrected. Don't be angry at the person, don't be sad. Just have this neutral tone almost. And of course, above all else, be patient. That's the key out of everything here. Maybe use this on your closest Arizona worker. So, as you go through this presentation, I just want one thing to say. As you continue, I'm sure, obviously you're not all going to stop complaining after this. I know I won't. But after seeing the TED Talk, after seeing the presentation, after all these characters, I want you to think, will you continue to keep complaining this way?